Okay, now entering mission 18. As you all know, we're going to fight Griffin and Shadow and Nightmare, but mostly throughout the mission, you're going to fight Griffin and Shadow. And I think starting now, I'm just going to call them the bird and the cat, because, well, that's what I usually call them anyways. And I'm going to show you some things that I found that, well, usually makes the fights easier. In particular, I would say the focus is actually on the bird, but we'll talk about that later. But anyways, before we start, as you can see, I have not been bringing all the weapons. I've actually taken out King Cerberus, surprisingly, I know. And for the guns, I didn't bring the pistol and the hat. Now, the hat is because, well, as you all know, the hat can basically cheese the entire game, but in this playthrough, we are most likely not doing that. And also, like, just personal preference, but I like to show people how to not rely on the hat, because, well, I think turning the camera away and just holding down the gun button is not really playing Devil May Cry. You can call me an elitist, like, for that, but I don't think I'm gonna change my mind anytime soon on that. Anyways, the point is that I don't think those weapons have, like, a significant, like, strategical purpose fighting the bird and the cat. So in that sense, I'm just going to take them out so that, like, beginners can better understand, like, the essential strategies to fighting them. The Devil's Sword Dante is important because I think round trips is a really good skill to have in this mission. And the bike is in particular to get the bird down quick and easy. And finally, barrel roll is of course for the high damage of real impact. So that's that. And for the guns, actually, like, the shotgun is not really necessary, but I figure that I would at least, like, bring 2 guns, just have a little bit of variety. But most importantly, we're going to rely on the rockets a lot. So yeah, the most important weapons here is, I think, Devil's Sword Dante, Barrel Rock for the damage, and the Missile Barrage. The bike and the shotgun is kind of like secondary, but they're also pretty good. Anyway, so enough of that. Let's get in right now, and I'll show you how to get through, like, the bird and the cat gangbangs in one piece, and hopefully, like, just heal your PTSD in this mission and just try to have fun. So, starting right off, as you all know, we're going to fight the bird one-on-one first. So let's get right to that. Now,
never would have guessed you'd come back.
Damn
it, V. Was this your plan all along?
Now, the core concept to, well, beating these boss fights in this mission, Griffin and Shadow, the bird and the cat, has a stun mechanic. Now, if you remember how V plays, if your familiars suffer enough damage, they'll enter stalemate, where, well, in the situation of playing as V, you'll have to, like, get close to them to get them back up. But in this case, where they're enemies, getting into stalemate actually gives you a chance to, well, get in and beat them up further. So there is that. So the point is to get them into a stalemate and then beat the shit out of them. So how to effectively get them into a stalemate? Well, you have to do good damage. And preferably, you can do good damage at a distance so that you don't have to, like, get close and suffer the danger of, well, being hit. So here's the deal. What I usually do is I'll do a Missile Barrage. And that is our main attack to, well, get the bird down. So let's test that out first and we'll see how that goes. So, starting off, just get right into using Missile Barrage. As you can see, originally, Griffin will try to do an attack, but if you do enough damage to it, it'll actually, like, do a light stun against Griffin and stop him from actually attacking. So as you can see, if you don't do anything to him, he will just fly around, and then after a second, he will start to actually attack again. As you can see, he'll do that, and then he'll do the lightning purpose. But instead, if you just attack him with enough damage, you can just stop him from attacking. And as you can see, after 2 missile barrages, he will get into stalemate, where he can do all sorts of attacks. But as he gets up, he'll do that. So every time he gets up, just remember to get away. And once again, just keep spamming the missile barrage. Can usually get him down pretty well, as you can see. And if you're quick enough, I think you will have enough time to do 1 low impact. You have to be pretty quick. Anyways, once he's back up again, just keep doing that missile barrage. There we go. And let's just... Oh, and he's going to do the blast, so get away. You can also use round trips. That's also a pretty good alternative. Oh, and he sent the DT, but I think in just a second, like in these first like 3 fights, you only have to get him down to like there, a little less than a quarter of health, and he will run away, and that will conclude like each individual fight. So that is good stuff. However, as you may probably notice, it took like 2 missile barrages to get the bird down every time, and that's actually, I would say, not the most efficient way to do it. Now let's reload the checkpoint, and because we're at the start of the mission, reloading the checkpoint doesn't actually penalize us in any way. It will just count as like restarting the mission, so that is good stuff. Alright, now let's try to do that again. Now I'm still going to use missile barrage, but instead of just using that, what I'm going to do actually is once I activate the missile barrage, I'll immediately switch into gunslinger and hold down the button to release round trips at the same time. Now, round trips alone is not as like high damage as the missile barrage. However, if you can do both at once, in terms of like just raw DPS, is actually higher than just waiting to do 2 missile barrages. So in that sense, you can get Griffin down like sooner, and that is always good, especially in the later fights where the bird teaming up with the cat, you will have way less time to actually do your attacks. So the higher DPS that you can figure out, the better. So let's test out that theory and see how well like this combination can do. Alright. So starting right off, missile barrage and then switch your sword master, regular round trips. There we go. And as you can see, things are way quicker. You don't have to do 2 missile barrages at all. And once you're quick enough, you can get in and land the real impact. There we go. Oh, that was close. Anyways, there we go. And we'll land the second one. Excellent. Oh. And just repeat the process will get us fairly well into this boss fight. As you can see, the bird couldn't do a thing, pretty much. Oh, and the fight is over. So yeah, overall, using both missile barrage and round trips is what I would consider a fairly efficient way to take down the bird. As you will see pretty soon when fighting both the cat and the bird, like them teaming up makes things way harder than just fighting them individually. So I would advise that you figure out some very efficient way to take down one of them. Anyways, but first of all, as you can see, immediately after fighting the bird, these like chumps, these like Hellkiners, like these scythe buddies will spawn. These little like style buddies. Now what you can do, like you can fight them of course, like normal, or you can just use them like what I use the climb of tree roots for, which is just to gather some DT by stepping on them. Or, since we have pretty much practiced quite a bit of jump guarding throughout the last like couple of missions, both fighting King Cerberus and fighting Urizen, you could also do a little bit of jump guarding instead of just jumping around. Once again, jump guarding is what I would say is pretty safe as long as you hold down the guard button after the jump. So even if you miss the timing, it's okay, you won't get hit. And as long as you like get the perfect guard every once in a while, actually, you will still get a net gain of DT. So you could fight these guys, or you could just earn some DT like I did. Or you can do both. You can get your DT, get your style rank up, and then beat the shit out of them. That way you can like actually guarantee quite a high style points, so that you can make sure that you can get an S rank at the end of the mission. But anyways, I think in our case, in my case at least, we'll be fine just skipping those fights. So that's what I'll do. And by the way, you saw that I broke a root. Breaking those roots will actually help you in the boss fight, but I'll explain that a little bit later. Well, essentially what is going to happen is that when you break those roots, it will either drop down a platform that contains like a pretty hard rock that once it's broken in the fight by both you or them, will actually heal Dante. And also, breaking one of those roots would also take away the chances that Nightmare that can heal in the boss fight, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, back into talking about the coming fights right now. We're going to fight the cat. Once again, against them individually, both the bird and the cat, I think the missile barrage plus round trips is a pretty safe approach to efficiently deal with them, so let's give that a shot. And just wait for him to be down. There we go. And just get in and try to hit up and do your real impact. There we go. And just dash away once they're back up, because they'll usually do a recovery attack that's pretty strong like that. So yeah, remember that the cat, Griffin. Sorry, Shadow. Yeah. As I said, it's better I just stick with the cat and the bird. Anyways, the cat will do like the spike attack immediately after it's up, which is pretty high damaging, and it's got quite an area of effect, so better watch out for that as well. Anyways, I think one more real impact should do it. Oh, yep. And there he goes.
Running away? Nah.
So yeah, in the first two fights, you can pretty much just rely on the missile barrage plus round trips to basically dominate the fight. Once again, there will be chumps that spawns after the boss fight, and you can pretty much either deal with them in whatever way you please, or just earn some DT like this. But anyways, as you can see, we almost have a full DT bar, so we don't have to deal with that. Now, coming right up in this area, where things gets real. We're going to fight the bird and the cat teamed up, and that is usually the point where people start to have problems. As you could probably imagine, because there are two like computer AIs controlling two individual enemies, and their attacks are not really like synced up. So sometimes you may encounter points where you don't have a moment to attack at all. If you try to attack the cat, the bird from a distance will snipe you with lightning bolts or the lightning pillars and just make your life a nightmare. So what I suggest actually is, instead of focusing on the cat, I would suggest that you try to focus on the bird first. Well, the cat usually relies on, even though it's got quite a reach, it's still like melee attacks, like close range, relatively speaking, compared to the bird. So in that sense, if you don't want the bird to snipe you from afar while you're trying to deal with the cat, I would suggest that you deal with the bird first. But first of all, I think in this fight, the cat will spawn first. And then like after a couple of seconds, the bird will also spawn. But first of all, so we'll get the cat down first. So we'll, once again, be doing this. There we go. Once the cat is down, try to do some damage. And I think at this point, the bird will spawn in. There we go. As you can see, Griffin is trying to tell you to, rush the bird, which is actually pretty good advice. There we go. Just focus on fighting the bird. And once the cat comes in, just runs away. Don't let them like fight you both at once. Try to get the cat out of the picture if you can, so that he can't actually attack. There we go. Oh. Ooh. If you see that the cat is too close, just run away. Keep your distance, it's fine. The point is to get the bird out of the picture completely before actually focusing on the cat. As you can see, down, if you get the bird down to like, I don't know, 40% of his health, he'll actually run away. Which is actually quicker than like the previous fight, where you had to get him down to like a quarter of his health. So that's that. Anyways, against the spike, actually, you can also do what I did just now. Mustang, you can basically run into the bird, the cat, and stay relatively fine. You time it just right, which is not that hard. Like, I'm not saying it's a very hard timing, no. And there we go. And the bird, the cat is down. And that should, yep. Oh, never mind. Not yet, not yet. I think I missed the real impact because of the uneven ground, but that's okay. Oh, there we go. And there goes the cat, which concludes our third fight.
One more round.
Excellent. Now, if you by any chance had trouble with this fight and used up your Sin Devil trigger, you can also come back out and get back down there to step on one of those chumps. Hopefully you didn't kill them before entering the fight, so you can do that. But anyways, before we actually go on to fight the last boss fight, we're going to break these roots once again, as I've mentioned previously. Actually, this time let's not skip the cutscene and we'll see what this actually does. Now, as you can see, it destroys the roots, which is supporting a platform up in the boss arena. Now, those lead to like 3 trunks. Are actually solid like rocks that can be broken throughout the fight, like during the boss fight. Which, when those rocks are broken, will actually pop out like green orbs that can heal Dante. So having those down into the arena is actually a really like big advantage overall. And also, as you could see, at the same time, it also like broke off a platform with some like purple goop, some purple like magic pit. That pit will actually heal Nightmare. Like in the middle of the fight, Nightmare will jump over to one of those pits, like one of these pits right here, and he will like stick his hands into it, and then he'll draw the magic from within and sort of heal himself. So that is not good for us. So breaking them actually is quite a help in. Actually, like breaking those pits off the arena is actually also a big help for our final fight. So, anyways, the point is that breaking all of those roots throughout this mission is going to be a big help against the boss fight. It essentially like increases your potential like total health points by like giving you chances to heal, and it reduces the enemy's chances to heal, like in contrast. Okay, now we're standing right in front of the arena for the final boss fight, which is going to include both the cat and the bird, and also Nightmare, which is actually like your main boss. The boss's health bar is actually just Nightmare. But of course, in the situation where all 3 are teaming up to, well, gang on you, it's very difficult to focus on Nightmare, so that's not actually the plan. The plan is actually to do it in order to first of all get rid of the bird and then the cat, and then we can focus on fighting Nightmare. Now, a good tip that most people probably don't realize, I was one of them, in fact, for a couple of years really. I never realized this like little detail, but in the start of the fight where all 3 are spawned and will just try to team up on you, the bird and the cat are actually like already half damaged. In the sense that if you just do a little bit of damage to them, like either the bird or the cat, they will immediately enter like stalemate like very quickly. Which means that if you, for example, immediately ready your round trips entering the fight, in the second, the bird and the cat will go down. So you'll have a few seconds of breather to sort of catch your breath and focus on fighting Nightmare alone for a few seconds, and don't have to like face all three at once right out of the gate. So yeah, let's hold down that style button and ready your round trips and get into the fight. Skip that cutscene and release it. As you can see, immediately Nightmare, Shadow and Griffin are down. So good stuff. So you can just focus on Nightmare for a few seconds. Of course, they'll get back up, which at this point, if you are not confident in like dodging all three attacks at once, just run away a little bit and just wait for Nightmare to despawn. He's going to despawn in a minute. Like, it doesn't take a while. It doesn't take a long while. Oh, as you can see, Nightmare is already done. There we go. And then you can now focus on fighting these. Ooh. Once again, once we are back to fighting 2-on-1, there we go. Oh. Remember the principle beforehand and just focus on fighting the bird first, I would suggest. And once the cat gets in the picture, run away.
Now, a very good habit to develop for this boss fight actually is to learn to focus on the enemy that is still active. Like even if you get one of them down, like for example if you get the bird down, still remember to like look at the cat and see whether he's getting near.
And I think maybe 2 more real impacts should get the bird completely down. Oh, and Nightmare comes back into the picture. Now, every time Nightmare spawns in after the first time, he's going to jump into a side of the arena, which is usually the opposite side to Dante, and he'll try to heal the familiars with it, with his health. Oh, as you can see, his health is dropping significantly. It's because he's transferring his health onto the 2 buddies. Now, to compensate that, he's going to, after a while, run over to one of those like purple magic pits and try to heal himself with it. Which is, well, in general, it's not very likely that you can stop him from healing. Like, if you are lucky enough to sort of get him stunned and despawn just before he's like trying to absorb magic from the pit, you could theoretically like stop him once, but the chances of you doing that like twice is not very high. So he'll at least like spawn in twice usually. Oh, anyways, yeah. As you can see, I took quite a bit of damage because first of all, I'm not very focused.
Like, as much as I try to both fight and explain like boss mechanics at the same time, I'm not doing a very good job usually.
Oh, as you can see there, he's going for the heal, which once he started the animation is pretty difficult to actually stop him, so I would expect you to just like expect him to heal like once. Oh, also, as you can see, he's despawning, but he will pop back up. Like every time after the first time, every time he despawns, seemingly despawns, he will come back up. So just remember the despawn, the first despawn animation is actually like a fake out. So don't let your guard down. Like if you see him despawning, he is going to punch you from the ground after he supposedly despawns. So gotta be prepared for that. Anyways, let's try to. Oh, bird's down. Oh, sorry, the cat's down. Now the bird's down. There we go. Now once the once the orb actually falls down to the ground, like they will actually enter like a permanent stalemate until Nightmare revives them. So now we no longer have to worry about the bird until Nightmare is back out. So we can focus on the cat. Again. Oh. But just as we speak, Nightmare is coming back out. So there's that. Anyways, that being said, we're just going to do what we've been doing. Not much else to say really. Try to beat him up a little bit when he's doing this like long animation to revive his companions. Oh, and he's going to do the laser, so back out. There we go. Oh, just run away a little bit. Usually when all three are active, it's probably good to run away a little bit. Just a little bit. May not be the most stylish thing you can do, but if you're not that good, like like me, you probably would benefit a lot from running away a little bit. Ooh. And just use a bit of a long-range attack. Oh, and as you can see, one of those rocks being broken will actually heal you completely. So that is good stuff. Just for the record though, those rocks are pretty tough. Like, if you try to break them on your own, it's really hard. Like, I've literally tried to like use STT to break those rocks. Even after spending the whole bar, you couldn't really just break them by your own strength. You kind of have to rely on Nightmare and Griffin, like hitting the rocks by accident if you want to break them. So just by Dante alone, even using STT, you are very unlikely to break them at the timing that you need them. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, there you go. I think Griffin should be down in a second. There we go. Oh, and he's permanently down. So we can focus on the bird. I mean the cat. God damn it. I keep saying the names wrong. My tiny brain is just not having enough processing power right now to both fight and talk at the same time. There we go. Oh, and he's down, which means get in. Catch those fists. Catch that fist. There you go. And oh, he's almost down. Give it a minute. Oh, not yet, not yet. And almost. Oh, not yet. Oh well. Nightmare's back out, so we'll switch our focus to him as he will try to heal his companions and basically teleport them over here. Oh, got it. I tried to brute force it, didn't work. Oh well. Oh, and let's try to get Griffin down as well. As you can see, even though Griffin is revived by Nightmare, once Griffin has entered like a complete breakdown for once, the amount of health he gets from the healing is not that much. So getting him down again after being revived is actually not that hard. There we go. Oh, and the other one broken as well. But we didn't really need the health. That's ouch. God damn it. I forgot about that. Even though I said it like so importantly to watch out for to fake out this one, I forgot about it just as I mentioned it. That's unfortunate. Ouch. Anyways, but I think everything is going fine. Oh, there you go. The cat is going to be down in a minute after he takes this punch to the face. There we go. And all that's left is to get Nightmare down a third time. And we should be done. Now, Nightmare is going to, once again, like, give his own life to revive the familiars. So we'll see him on his last legs pretty soon. Oh. 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 Ouch. Okay. Let's try to get that. There we go. Alright, the bird's down again. Now, a thing to note about Nightmare is that actually, as you're soon about to see, when Nightmare is at about like 5% of his health, like now, he'll actually enter stalemate, which of course like never happens when you're playing as V because well, Nightmare was like invincible when you play as V, but in here he's not, and as you can see, he is down into the magic orb form. The funny thing about this is actually like, even though he enters stalemate and supposedly like stalemate is just a temporary like stun until he gets back up, Nightmare actually cannot get back up. Like you can do all sorts of like taunts and walk around and just stand around for however long you want. Here, I'll do like an EX taunt, like just to show you how long it takes for him to like try to get back up, but never. Like, in fact, like I think once upon a time I had tried to like just put down the controller and go for a drink and see if he ever gets back up. I don't think he does. So yeah, when you get Nightmare down to like 5% health, the fight is basically over. Of course, like if Shadow and Griffin are still alive, you will still have to fight them, but once they are down as well, like what's happening now, the fight is pretty much done. You are just beating up Nightmare the Sandbag at this point. So yeah. Anyways, not much to say other than that, so let's finish it off with a taunt. And there is that. Oh, and as you can see, we've got just enough, well, I mean, a decent stylish points, in fact. Together with the 1.2 times bonus for no continuous, we will get an S rank. There we go. And that's how I deal with Mission 18. Now, hopefully, you have learned a little bit how to deal with like these critters in this mission, and of course, like I wouldn't consider my methods the quote-unquote the only method or anything, but hopefully it sort of give you a bit of like inspiration, if not reference, to how to handle these trio a little better. Just overall, the main recommendation I can give is just to focus on the bird whenever he's on screen, because well, those area attacks are pretty troublesome, especially if you like are distracted dealing with other enemies. That is an absolute no, in my opinion. So yeah, focus on the bird, and you should be doing relatively fine. But anyways, that's it for mission 18. Now, as for the next mission, as you all know, mission 19 and 20 are both like virtual boss fights. And since I already did like a very extensive like video guide on how to fight Virgil, especially like for mission 19, I don't know what else to say really. Maybe I'll just play the boss fight a couple of times and just show you like how to deal with Virgil using like different styles, maybe? I don't know, I'll figure something out. But anyways, that's it for mission 18. And I'll see you in the next one.